Hello students, let us see an important concept in the theory of integers is divisibility. Let us see the definition of divisibility. An integer b is said to be divisible by an integer a not equal to 0. This is the very important thing here. In symbols, a divides b or b is divisible by a if there exists some integer c such that b equal to ac. We write a, this is in symbol, a does not divides b to indicate that b is not divisible by a. For example, 2 divides 4. Why 2 divides 4? Because 4 can be written as 2 into 2. So this integer, there exists an integer, this 2, so 2 divides 4. Similarly, minus 3 divides minus 12. Why minus 3 divides minus 12? Because minus 12 can be written as a multiple of minus 3. Minus 3 into some integer 4. This is the integer c here. See here, a divides b or b is divisible by a. The integer which divides must be a non-zero. We have taken that integer must be a non-zero integer. So 0 cannot divide any other integers. In notation, a divides b, we write a divides b if and only if b is a multiple of a, called a divides b or b is a multiple of a or b is divisible by a. These all the phrases has the same meaning. Similarly, 3 does not divide 7. Why 3 does not divide 7? Because we cannot write 7 as a multiple of 3. We cannot write, or there does not exist any integer c such that 7 can be written as 3 into c. This c must be integer. So 3 does not divide 7. Now we consider the theorem for any integers a, b, c. The following hold. First one is a divides 0. That is, every integer a must divide 0. 1 divides a and a divides a. A divides 1 if and only if a equal to plus or minus. Third one is if a divides b and c divides d, then their product ac must divides bd. If a divides b and b divides c, then a divides c. That is transitivity. A divides b and b divides c, then a divides c. A divides b and b divides c if and only if a equal to plus or minus b. If a divides b and b is not equal to 0, then modulus of a less than or equal to modulus of b. And last one, if a divides b and a divides c, then a divides bx plus y for any arbitrary integers x and y. Let us see proof of this theorem. First one, we have to show that a divides 0. A divides 0. How you can show that a divides 0 means 0 can be written as a multiple of a. Since, see here, since 0 is equal to a into 0. A into 0 is 0 always. So this implies that, what this implies? This implies that this a divides 0. A divides 0. Here a is not equal to 0. And since again we can write a is equal to 1 into a. A equal to 1 into a. Therefore what happens here? This implies that a equal to 1 into a means what? 1 divides a. 1 divides a. And also a equal to 1 into a, or we may write a equal to a into 1. This implies that, see here, this a is a multiple of a. So a divides a. Here also a not equal to 0. Okay. So any non-zero integers divides 0. 1 divides any integer a, and any non-zero integer divides itself. So this is the first part. Let us see the second part. A divides 1 if and only if a equal to plus or minus 1. Second part. Let us see the proof of the second. A divides 1 if and only if a equal to plus or minus 1. Suppose a divides 1. So this implies that a divides 1 means what? 1 is a multiple of a. So there exists an integer c is thus that 1 equal to ac. This implies that ac equal to 1. A and c are integers here. So this implies that, so when the product of two integers is 1, this implies that either a equal to 1 and c equal to 1, or a equal to minus 1 and c equal to minus 1. So then and then only we will get this product as a 1. A equal to 1, A into C, 1 into 1 is 1, minus 1 into minus 1 is 1. This implies that A equal to 1 or A equal to minus 1. In short notation, this can be written as A equal to plus or minus 1. So one part is over. Let us consider the converse part. Suppose A equal to plus or minus 1. Then this implies that we already know that then 1 divides 1, minus 1 also divides 1. Then this A or plus 1 minus 1, that is A equal to plus or minus 1 divides 1, plus or minus 1 divides 1. So we have proved the second. Why minus 1 divides 1? Because minus 1 can be written as minus 1 into 1. So minus 1 divides. Let us see the proof of the third part. Third one is if A divides B and C divides D, then AC divides BD. Third one is A divides B and C divides D, then AC divides BD. Okay, we have to prove that AC divides BD. This is the theorem. Third part of the theorem. Proof. Suppose or let A divides B and C divides D. This implies that A divides B means what? B is a multiple of A. So B is equal to A K1 and D is equal to C divides D means D is a multiple of C. So D K2. This implies that BD is equal to B is AK1 and here we have D is equal to CK2. BD is equal to AK1 and D is equal to CK2. So this implies that BD is equal to AC K1 K2. This implies that BD is equal to AC K, where K is equal to this K1 K2, K is equal to K1 into K2. This belongs to Z. If two integers are K1 K2, then their product is again a integers. This implies that what this implies? This AC, now BD is a multiple of AC. So this AC divides BD. This completes the third part. Let us see the fourth part. Okay. Let us see the fourth part. Fourth part is if A divides B and B divides C, then A must divide C. So proof. Or let A divides B and B divides C. This implies that A divides B means what? B is a multiple of A. So B is equal to AK1 and C is equal to what here? B divides C means what? C is a multiple of B. So C is equal to B K2 for some integers K1 K2. For some K1 K2 belongs to Z. Belongs to Z means these are. This implies that see here B is equal to AK1 and C is equal to BK. So C is equal to B is a AK1. So AK1. So this implies that C is equal to AK1 K2. This is by associativity. This is called associative law. You already learnt in paper. So this is equal to C is equal to AK, where K is equal to K1 K2. Product of two integer is again an integer. So what this implies? C is a multiple of A. So A divides C. This is the transitive law in terms of relation. Let us see the proof of the fifth part. A divides B and B divides A if and only if A equal to plus or minus. A divides B and B divides if and only if A equal to plus or minus B. Suppose two parts are here. First part is suppose A divides B and B divides A. See here, this is the first part and this is the second part. So first we have to suppose the first part, that is the direct part, and we have to prove this part. So in direct part, suppose A divides B and B divides. This implies that what this implies? A divides B means B is a multiple of A. So B equal to AK1, and similarly B divides A means what? A equal to this. A is a multiple of B, BK2 for some K1 comma K2 belongs to. This implies that see here A is a BK2 and B is A. So B is equal to A is BK. B equal to BK2. This is the value of A. This is the value of A, BK2 into K1. So this implies that B is equal to B into K2 K1. This is by associativity. So this implies that this B cancels by left cancellation law. So 1 is equal to K2 K1. This implies that K1 K2 equal to 1. This implies that K1 equal to 1 and K2 equal to 1, or K1 equal to -1 and K2 equal to -1. These K1 K2 are integers, and product of these two integers 1 if and only if first is 1 and second is 1, or first is -1 and second is -1. So this implies that is K1 equal to 1 or K1 equal to -1. This implies that K1 equal to plus or -1. This implies that B equal to A K1. So B is equal to A, K1 is plus or minus, B equal to plus or minus A, and this implies that A equal to plus or minus. This is the proof of the first part. Let us see the proof of the converse part. Conversely suppose A equal to plus or minus B. So this implies that if A equal to plus or minus B, then A divides B and also B divides A. Why this A divides B? Because this A can be written as B into 1, and B divides A because this A into 1. B equal to plus or minus. So if A equal to plus or minus B, then A divides B and B divides. See, let us see the proof of the part 6. Part 6 is if B is not equal to 0 and A divides B, then modulus of A is less than or equal to modulus of B. Suppose A divides B. This implies that B is a multiple of A. Therefore, for there exists an integer k such that B is equal to AK for some k belongs to Z. This implies that mod B equal to mod A into K, mod B is equal to mod A into mod K, using the properties of a mod. Here, since this B is not equal to 0, we have here this B is not equal to 0. This implies that K is not equal to 0. Why? If K equal to 0, then 0 into A is 0, as B is equal to AK. This K cannot be 0. This implies that K cannot be 0 means modulus of K is greater than 0. This implies that modulus of K is greater than 0 means what? Modulus of K greater than or equal to 1, because K belongs to Z, as K belongs to Z. So modulus of K greater than or equal to 1 means what? Therefore mod B is equal to mod A into mod K. Okay, but mod K is greater than 1, so this is equal to mod A as it is into 1. Mod K is greater than or equal to 1. So this is equal to modulus of A. So modulus of B must be greater than or equal to modulus of A. Same as, this implies that this is same as, so we have mod B is greater than or equal to mod A, which is same as, that is mod A less than or equal to mod B. That is, if B is not equal to 0 and A divides B, then modulus of A is less than or equal to modulus of B. Let us see the last part of the proof of the last part of the seventh part of the theorem. 7. What is given? If A divides B, A divides Bx plus Cy for any two integers X and Y. Proof. Let A divides B and A divides C. This implies that A divides B means what? B is a multiple of A, so AK1, and C is equal to AK2. So this implies that. So this implies that B is equal to AK1 and C equal to AK2 for some K1 K2 belongs to Z. This implies that Bx plus Cy is equal to B is AK1X plus AK2Y. This is equal to A into K1X plus K2Y. We have taken A common from both the terms. So this is equal to, see here, this K1X plus K2Y belongs to Z because K1 and K2 are integers, X and Y integers. This product is integer, this product is integer, and addition of these two integer is again an integer. So this belongs to a Z. So this is equal to, you may write this as a KXY. This is equal to A into KXY, where this KXY is equal to K1X plus K2Y, and this belongs to Z. So this implies that see here, Bx plus Cy is now a multiple of A. So this A divides Bx plus Cy. This completes the proof of the whole theorem. Thank you, students.